Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this one, if you could just hit that button down below, that would really help me out. But today's video is going to be a good one. It's about an interesting wonder kid who I've picked out as somebody who, if Leeds were to sign him, could be the next big thing for Leeds United. And he fits into that number 10 role nicely. So he could be something that could really kickstart our season. His name is Osame Sahraoui, and he currently plays for Heerenveen in the Dutch league. He came from Norway. He is Norwegian himself. He's 22 years old. Signed last January for €2 million to Heerenveen, and he now has a market value of €6.5 million. So not out of the realms of possibility in terms of Leeds being able to go and pick him up, because obviously that's less in pounds. 4 goals and 1 assist this season. He can play left wing, right wing, and through the middle as a number 10. And as you can see from his statistics that are on the screen right now, he seems to kind of fit the bill for the type of player that Leeds would want in those attacking areas. So the first thing we're going to talk about is obviously the fact that he's got 4 goals and 1 assist, which puts his assists up at 0.23 per 90, 70th percentile. So that's the top 30%. So that's not too bad. He could be higher in terms of that, but then also his assists and stuff could be due to his teammates not finishing things off, and we've seen how that can happen at Leeds before as well, and it can affect someone's statistics. So a better way to measure it is shot creating actions, and his shot creating actions 4.63 per 90 is 77th percentile. So it's essentially he's creating nearly 5 chances a game. And if you're creating nearly 5 chances a game, you've got to feel that somebody's going to put one of those away. And that's why I like to look at the shot creating actions, because it's the pass that leads to a shot, or it's the pass before that. So it's a good way of measuring how involved in attacking play somebody is. And Sahraoui is involved in attacking play quite a lot from that. Passes attempted 37.90 puts him in the 58th percentile, which is pretty low, but because he's been playing out wide and drifting back in again, this is versus attacking midfielders and wingers, so that can be skewed a bit by the fact that wingers don't get on the ball that often in certain systems, and obviously in this Heerenveen system he's not getting on the ball that much. He would be if he was on the wing in a lead system, but I think he would be better placed going through the number 10 role. Pass completion percentage 78.2%, which puts him in the 80th percentile. Now the reason that is a good thing is because he's in those attacking positions, so he's playing risky balls, and a lot of the time they are coming off. You'll see that they'll be quite low from some players in attacking positions, and you go, okay, that's because they're trying to play risky balls. But because he's trying to play those risky balls and he's succeeding with them, that's why his shot creating actions are at nearly 5 per 90, 4.5 per 90. So that's something that I think is a really good sign from him. Progressive carries as well. This is the one I want to talk about, because 6.03 per 90, it puts him in the 98th percentile, so the top 2% of wingers and attacking midfielders compared to him over the last 365 days. He goes at players. And when you're in a number 10 role, if you come inside and play the number 10 role, which he has done, he played the number 10 role quite a few times for Heerenveen and for Vålerenga before that in Norway. And if he's carrying the ball at people, he's frightening defenders, he's running at people, he's getting them turning, he's getting their backs towards goal. And that can really, really help and kickstart a move and frighten the life out of defenders, to be honest with you. So I think that that's something that we haven't got in a Joel Piroe. I think Joel Piroe can drop into that role and maybe find a short pass, but I don't think he's necessarily got the capability like somebody like Sahraoui would have to be able to pick up the ball and run with it. And I think maybe that's a little bit of a missing piece from our counter-attacking. I made a video about that, how good we are at counter-attacking. I think Piroe usually just makes a decoy run in that, but somebody like Sahraoui could be another option for a really good ball carrier, because we kind of rely on Somerville in those moments. Successful take-ons as well, which comes into the same thing, 4.28 per 90 puts him in the 99th percentile. So obviously, again, that's fantastic. It shows that when he's carrying the ball, when he is having those progressive carries, those 6 progressive carries per game, he's taking people on, and he's taking people on a lot, and that's really good, putting him in the top 1%. Touches in the attacking penalty area, 6.34 per 90, puts him in the 96th percentile. That's really, really good and nice to see from an attacking midfielder, because not only is he staying on the edge of the box and playing the ball into players in the box and trying to find people, he's actually going and getting in the box as well and getting on the end of things, which I think is a really, really good thing to have. Like I say, 22 years old, and he's doing these sorts of things in the Dutch league. Highly rated, highly tipped to be one of the next big things coming out of the Netherlands at the moment. Obviously, originally came from Vålerenga in Norway, and I think in the Championship you kind of have that less mobile defender that you come up against, and I think somebody like him, when he's running at them, can really put them off balance. And with our other players around them, you've got Somerville who can come inside and link with him, you've got Dan James who can come in and link, you've got Piru, Bamford, Jorginho, everybody. I think it just gives you an extra option. Look, you might not want to play him in every single game, because you might want to, against a certain team, you might want to play somebody who's a little bit better at holding the ball up, like a Jorginho Rutter. Obviously, Jorginho Rutter would probably be in the team anyway if Sahraoui was playing, but in a different position. But he does have the option to play him out on the wing as well. If you get an injury to somebody like Dan James, it doesn't mean you have to rely on one of the other wingers. You've got Sahraoui that can play anywhere across that front line, and I think that's really important to have that mobility and that flexibility to be able to play in those different positions. Like I say, his defensive statistics leave a lot to be desired. But that is, again, because he's been playing on the right wing and the left wing. He has played it as a number 10, but I think Farke will have something where he kind of gets it into his players' heads like, look, you're not getting away with not defending. So he will have to come back and make defensive contributions. But again, it's another thing that can be skewed by what sort of team they're playing for. Again, when we look at progressive passes, 4.12 puts him in the 55th percentile, so the bottom 45%. So the top 45%. That's not that great. For somebody who's in those positions where he should be playing the ball forward, that's not that great. But again, it can come down to system. All of this can come down to system. But when we're talking about somebody like Sahraoui, who you want to be in those positions to play the ball into the box and to break the final line, maybe he's not the perfect player to break down a low block. And that's when you maybe play somebody like a Jorginho in the 10 and then put Sahraoui out wide, or play Dan James out wide, Sahraoui on the bench. I think you've got options when you buy a player like Sahraoui, and I think it's doable for 6.5 million euros, probably around £6 million, maybe just less. I think it's doable, and I think it would be a really, really good deal for Leeds. Leeds have looked to sign players like this over the last couple of years, like Somerville, like Jorginho, like other players, like when they looked at Noah Lang as well, when that was an option. There's young players who they want to bring in who can have a massive increase in their market value over the next couple of years. And I think the fact that he's not at somebody like Ajax or somebody like that gives us a bonus. The fact that he's at Heerenveen and they're not as big of a club, maybe we've got a little bit more pulling power saying, look, if you can get us up to the Premier League, you're going to play Premier League football and get the wages to match. So for me, I genuinely think this will be a good signing. Maybe not the perfect signing for that role, but he's somebody who could certainly grow into it and become a massive, massive signing for Leeds. So for me, Osame Sahraoui is a wonder kid who we should really, really take a look at. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.